Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, which I am happily naming The Wealthy Sailor. Named after the fact that I was in the Navy for 10 years, a lot of the personal finance information I know comes from training I received while I was in the military, and the fact that one day, like most of us, I hope to become wealthy. So basically what all this is about is that I was going over my finances a few days ago, and I've come to the conclusion that I really wasted a good amount of time. I am now 35, and I have some savings, but not a lot. And the thing is that I just kind of let some years slip away from me, especially after I got out of the military and I got a new job, and the job pays pretty well, and I just haven't saved as much as I wanted to. So I looked at where I should be savings wise via the Vanguard retirement calculator based on your age. And I'm actually ahead of where I should be. But I'm not ahead of where I should be given my income. The thing is that I just don't save enough. I spend a lot. I've kind of let my lifestyle creep up as my civilian jobs allowed me to make more money, and the result is I've wasted more. So I have decided that by the end of next year, that's 2021, I want to have a net worth of $500,000. Why 500,000? Because 500,000 is about $120,000 more than what I'm currently worth. At the time of making this video, my net worth is currently artificially deflated a little bit because of what happened with coronavirus and some other things going on politically and economically. A lot of my funds are down, everything like that, which I expect to rise back up. So first I'm going to talk to you a little bit about myself, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about my plan, how I plan on reaching my goals. My name is John. I was in the Navy for 10 years. For the vast majority of the time I was in the Navy, I really didn't pay as much attention to my personal finances as I should have. However, as I got older and I got promoted, I ended up becoming the financial counselor for my command, which meant that, so to back up a bit, in the military, at least in the Navy, they understand the problem with young people joining, may or may not have ever learned too much about money or finances or taxes or loans or anything like that, and now suddenly they have a very steady job. And believe it or not, the military actually hates when sailors don't spend their money right. And the reason that they hate it is because it makes the military as a whole look bad. A good example is, I'm sure we've all seen videos online or seen people on the street where we see a homeless military veteran. Some of these people spent years in the military, and the thing is, it makes the military look bad. It makes it look as though the military isn't supporting their people. And believe me, for a long time, they weren't. But while I was in the Navy, they were doing a lot for us. Every time we changed commands, we had to have a class, personal financial class. It taught us about budgeting and tracking, different apps we can use, so forth and so on. So I become the command financial specialist, and I start teaching classes. Every time somebody got promoted, they had to sit in my class. Everybody who came into our command new had to sit through my class. There were certain instances where you could be ordered to sit in my class, but I've never evoked that. Usually I would just go up and talk to people and just try to get them to feel comfortable talking to me about it. Now, my qualifications for kind of talking about finance, business, investment, stuff like that, I have no real qualifications for this. I'm not giving anybody advice on what they should do. What I'm going to be doing is telling you what I'm doing and what's worked for me or what hasn't worked for me, why, how, stuff like that. I am not a certified accountant or anything like that, so don't take my advice as actual financial advice. I'm just telling you what I would do. Think of this more as entertainment than anything else. I did do a 1-week class in Navy where they actually sent us away to kind of learn everything, but that's more of basic budgeting, how credit reports and credit scores work, how loans, insurance, stuff like that works. It's really not the same thing as learning personal, like having your master's degree in personal finance. So don't take it as I'm some kind of whiz or anything like that. In fact, I look forward to reading the comments and kind of learning more from other people and what they've done and how they work. So the other thing you need to know about me is I am currently deployed. I'm not sure if I'm going to tell you where quite yet, but I'm deployed, so this kind of happens in my off time. I'm also currently in school while I'm deployed. So sometimes you'll see me making videos where I'm wearing the same shirt as I was the day before, there could be two reasons for that. One, I might not necessarily make a video every single day. If I have some free time on one particular day, like it's a slow day, I'll make 2 or 3 videos to kind of make sure I have a bit of a buffer. The other reason is that since I'm deployed, I only have like 7 or 8 t-shirts. So you're going to see the same t-shirts every 7 or 8 videos, probably. So just expect that. When I say I'm deployed, I am no longer in the United States military. Now I'm a civilian contractor and I work alongside the U.S. military. So that's why I'm deployed, but I don't want you to take it as I'm with the military because, one, I deploy voluntarily. This is my job. I can quit anytime I want. I can go home anytime I want. I choose to do this. The other thing is that, to be honest, civilians get paid significantly more than the military who are deployed do. The only difference is that they get tax-free and I still have to pay taxes, but that's okay because there's some things I've learned over the years about how to help with my taxes. So anyway, that's a little bit about myself and kind of what got me here. Now, a little bit about what I'm trying to do. So the main reason I want to kind of make a video to kind of let people know what I'm doing is that what I'm hoping to do is inspire other people. I want to make a video series documenting how, not easy, but the choices I've made along the way in order to get me to where I want to be. So I'm hoping that maybe if you're somebody else who's like me, who's sort of middle class, maybe not really living paycheck to paycheck, but definitely not living too comfortably either, I'm hoping you can see this and it can help inspire you to kind of make some better decisions if you in fact want to make better decisions. I want to do better financially, which is what's motivating me. The other reason I want to do this is I honestly think that I will do better with achieving my goals if I kind of put my goals out there. $500,000 by the end of 2021. That's a huge, huge goal. That's a $120,000 increase in my total net worth in 18 months. Now, some people might think that's impossible, and don't get me wrong, it's going to be extremely difficult. I sat down with a spreadsheet and I worked on it for about 2 days to try and figure out if it's possible. So here are the things that are coming up for me that will help me achieve this. Number one, I save most of what I make, and what I don't save usually goes to pay off debts, and I do have debts currently. Well, the thing is about paying off debts is that although your savings might not go up, my net worth will, because as I pay off debts, that's less of a debt on my total net worth to drag it down. So as I pay off debt, that will help. Now, as of the creation of this video, I only have about $4,000 in credit card debt, which might seem like a large number, but considering I'm deployed right now, that's not really that big for me. So I expect that to be paid off soon. I also have 2 properties. I have my primary residence in Virginia, and then I have a rental property in Florida. Now, the rental property I lived in for about 7 years, and I'm currently renting it out. And it's great because every time I get the rent payment, which is higher than the mortgage payment, I collect about $200 off that, and then the rest just goes to pay down the actual mortgage. Which means each month, I actually collect a little bit of money from the equity that I'm building in that property. Now, my Virginia house is new. Unfortunately, I've lived there for less than a year, don't have a lot of equity there. Luckily, housing prices have gone up in the area, so I'm not underwater on it, which is, for me, rare because, like most veterans, I use my VA loan to buy houses, which means I don't have to put any money down. Unfortunately, that also means that if you include taxes and fees, you're pretty much underwater the second you sign the mortgage paperwork. But not in this case. Just, I got lucky. I did not see an increase coming the way it did. The property values went up almost immediately after I bought the house. So I'm good there. So I'm building up a little equity there. And again, each month when I pay off the mortgage, it helps my net worth go up. So other debts I have. I recently put solar panels on my house in Virginia. Later on, I want to make a video about all the numbers and whether it's saving me money or cost me money and how it works or anything like that. Unfortunately, I haven't had them long enough to make those numbers or to make a good video about how the numbers all worked out, simply because I've only had them for a few months, and during the summer is when you get the most sunlight, but it's also when you use the most power for air conditioning, stuff like that. So what I think I'll do is wait about 6-7 months, let summer go through, and then I'll make a really good detailed video about how much it costs and everything like that. I will tell you that because I got solar panels last year in 2019 is when I actually signed the contract for everything. I got a 30% cash rebate from the federal government on my taxes. I just had to, minus the $400 it cost me to have my taxes done this year because I didn't know how to file that particular rebate. So I sent it to a accountant to do for me. In addition to that, I also got a $1,000 cash rebate from the solar company itself. So the total bill of my solar panels were about $35,000, but I got $12,500 back in rebates. Now, there's a caveat to that where I need to pay $10,000 back into a solar loan to avoid a balloon payment. It's basically they give you a bridge loan to fill the gap until you get that repayment back, because they figure you're going to put the repayment back into the loan. It's just the way they structured it when I bought the panels, but I plan on putting that back into the loan anyway because that's what it was for. So immediately as soon as I pay that off, then my net worth automatically climbs $12,000 overnight. Another debt I have is I have one credit card with about $4,000, which I already mentioned, so that should be paid off very shortly. So the final way I plan on making up a lot of my net worth is through the investment accounts I have. I'll have to make another video kind of going in detail of exactly what I have going and why I have it there and what the rate of return is. But most of my investment accounts, at about $250,000 right now, collect about 8% interest. So I expect that to go up accordingly. But in addition to that, I'm still working, and my company has a 401k match program. So I plan on fully taking advantage of that throughout the next year and a half, and it's an amazing program. In addition to that, they also have an HSA, or Health Savings Account, match program, which is tax-free from the government. Thank you, Obamacare. And I plan on contributing that heavily. So that's another way my net worth will go up. Now, for the purposes of this video and for the sort of challenge I'm doing, or my goal that I'm doing, I am counting all my assets minus my liabilities, which means in my assets I'm also including my car, my 11-year-old Jeep Grand Cherokee, which is a great vehicle. It's worth like $6,000, I think, last time I checked, so that's being included. And I'm also going to include any other things I want to buy. Now, I'm not including like my TV or furniture in my house or anything like that, but stuff that the average person could liquidate if they had something come up that they need to. And I know you can sell things like musical instruments, like guitars are a good example, or some people have a lot of guns that they could sell. Well, I don't have any of that. I live very simply in my life, so except for maybe my Xbox or my laptop, I don't really have very much that I could sell, so I'm not counting any of that. So really the oddest thing I'm counting is just my car. So with all that added in there, I will keep you updated as we go. I'm not sure about the format of the videos yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to update you every week or every month. I feel like updating you too often could actually work against what I'm trying to do with the video series, because I'm sure, as most of you know, monitoring your finances is that as the month progresses and money comes in, money goes out for bills and stuff like that, every day, like there's fluctuations, and it looks like this as you go through. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to kind of update you maybe once a month or so with what I'm doing. But what I would like to do is I'd like to just make videos about other topics that interest me, all along the lines of business, finance, stuff like that. I mean, the simple fact is that I've learned a lot of hard lessons along the way in my, at 35, I guess you can say I've had a short life, but I'm also old. My son's 15. So I've learned a lot throughout the years. And I feel like I should share some of it. If nothing else, maybe you'll laugh at some of the mistakes I've made. But I do want to talk about different things that interest me, different things I've discovered, different investments I've made, how they turned out, what I think I should have done different. Stuff like that. So I'm not really sure what the format is yet. Just bear with me a little bit. I'm also just learning how to do video editing, thumbnails, writing descriptions, all that jazz. So I'm all ears for anybody who has any suggestions. Any input, especially somebody who's been making videos for a little while. Well, if you made it to this point, you've just watched the entire first episode of what I hope is a very long but entertaining series of videos, if nothing else, to keep me entertained while I'm deployed. If you liked it, give me a like, a share, or a comment. Right now, I'll respond to anything because I don't have any comments to distract me from anything. But I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed making it. And I hope you watch my next video and keep saving your money.